think of? The GOAT against the future GOAT? How about the 1951 World Series? Willie Mays was a rookie, three-time MVP. Joe DiMaggio, was in his last season. The Yankees would wind up winning that World Series, DiMaggio's 9th title in 13 years. Then the 91 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan's first finals, Magic Johnson's last. The GOAT against the future GOAT. And now, of course, it's Mahomes and Brady. Mahomes, the youngest quarterback to win Super Bowl MVP. Brady has the most Super Bowl wins at 6. This has been a topic of some discussion and some debate and some kind of hurt feelings on the program this week. D. Wood, when people describe Patrick Mahomes as the future GOAT, what is your reaction?
He's not there yet. He's not there yet. And we keep talking, Tom Brady GOAT and Patrick Mahomes future GOAT. I'm sorry. I mean, one got 10 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl is already well on his way. Got a league MVP, got a Super Bowl win, on his way to possibly getting another. But man, the resume on one is awfully big. And at 43 years old, he's still going strong. throwing for 40 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards.
We are having a bad day. You and me are having a bad day, Damien Woody. I heard you. I heard what you said. So let me explain something to you.
Put those two guys in the same stratosphere. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
All right, you done? Are you done yet? We know you love him. We know that he got to a Super Bowl ring. We know all that. Are we done?
This ain't got anything to do with that. All I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes, there's no question, is more talented. Maybe the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen come into this league. But all I'm saying is, okay, let's respect the body of work of Tom Brady.
We respect it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's why we call Tom Brady the GOAT, and that is why we call him Patrick the future GOAT. I'm just confused at how all these football guys suddenly become stat nerds. Like you are acting like Himbo all of a sudden, talking about all these numbers.
Act like Himbo.
We didn't say that they are the same person. We said he's a future GOAT.
I'm just saying respect the body of work. That's all I'm saying.
We respected it. We spent all of Monday just a hagiography about Tom Brady. Even though he had a terrible game, that's fine. Tom Brady is the GOAT, but Patrick Mahomes, if you watch the tape and stop digging into these numbers, you stat nerd,
I watched the tape. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with people like Neek and the younger people. Every time somebody new comes on the scene, go. Like, you gotta build to get to a GOAT status. You got to build to get to that level. Everyone wants to throw a quick label of GOAT on everybody.
He's been building for 3 years where he spent them all in the AFC Championship game, where he broke a ton of records. He got a Super Bowl MVP.
3 years.
He said, Greeny said future GOAT. He didn't say that he is the GOAT. We just recognize that if he continues on this trajectory, which we have no reason to believe that he won't, he will supplant Tom Brady as the GOAT at some point. Tom's the GOAT, and you're a stat nerd.
Let me frame it to you this way, D. Wood, if I can. Because, yes, I confess, I am usually the professional overreactor in the group. I totally acknowledge that. But is it not reasonable to say that there does seem to be something about Patrick Mahomes that is special and different from anyone we've ever seen come along? You watch him and you just say, you know what? In this one case, it does seem reasonable.
Greeny, listen, I'm not disputing that. When I watch Patrick Mahomes play, I look at him. That boy different. That boy's different out there on the football field. I'm not knocking Patrick Mahomes great. He's the most talented quarterback that I have ever seen. Yep. All I am saying is respect the other man's body of work before we just trying to lump people together. That's all I'm saying.
Well, listen, Patrick Mahomes, to watch that guy, everybody could agree, unbelievable, incredibly entertaining, the future of the league, going to be an all-time great. I'm just asking this. Did we not say the same things about Dan Marino in the early part of his career in the mid-1980s? Did we not say the same thing about Brett Favre when he was in Green Bay? Did we not say similar things about other all-time great quarterbacks when they came in?
Yes. Okay. And if that's the company you wind up keeping, then that's pretty good, because those two guys are among the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
That is the company he's keeping. That is absolutely the company he's keeping.
Yeah. And so maybe
Mahomes
again, he
has a chance to be right there with them.
I have to leave it there. And I have to change the tone briefly. Guys, we'll come back to this in a moment. But there was, as I'm sure many people have seen by now, extraordinarily disturbing story in the NFL yesterday. The Seattle Seahawks have waived backup offensive lineman Chad Wheeler after his arrest for felony assault domestic violence. The details of this story extraordinarily disturbing. Police say that Wheeler asked his girlfriend to bow to him. And when she wouldn't, he threw her on the bed and twice strangled her until she lost consciousness. When she regained consciousness for the second time, he allegedly told her, quote, "Oh, you're still alive." The woman fled into a bathroom and called 911. She told police that Wheeler is bipolar and had not been taking his medicine recently. Wheeler was jailed, released on bail, and charged with multiple felonies. He tweeted an apology to the victim, blaming it on a manic episode, adding that he was walking away from football to get help. The NFL says the incident is under review. Back to one of the biggest questions of this NFL offseason, and it is the future of Dak Prescott in Dallas. So far, he still does not have a long-term deal with the Cowboys, although according to Sports Business Journal, he did just sign a multi-year deal with brewing giant Anheuser-Busch. So he has that going for him right now. But let's bring the group back in here. And Schefty, it was about a month ago, although it feels like 20 years ago, that you said on this show, this is going to be the biggest story of the NFL offseason. It has since been surpassed and lapped. But where do we stand right now as far as Dak is concerned?
Listen, it's in the same spot it's always been. I think both sides would like to try to work out a deal. The interesting part would be, would the Dallas Cowboys be tempted by any other option that would save that team money and lock in a quarterback that they believed in? Again, I think in a perfect world, they re-sign Dak, Dak re-signs there, no questions asked. But even in a hypothetical, right, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, would you make a run at Deshaun Watson, who is already under contract long-term? Would you entertain offers for Matthew Stafford, who you could have the next 2 years for $43 million, whereas Dak's franchise tag for just this year alone is over $37 million? There's a financial component to this. Now, I don't think they'll do that. I think they're going to want to keep signing Dak, but at some point in time, if they struggle to do that and they struggle to do a long-term deal, would they, and I'm just asking, would they entertain the notion that maybe we should consider trading for another quarterback?
It is obviously something that has crossed a lot of people's minds. If only I could remember where Matthew Stafford is from. Oh, that's right. He's from Dallas. Dominique Foxworth, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Dak, I want to get the hell out of there. And it's not to suggest that the Cowboys situation is like awful like it feels like in Houston. There's some good things there, so not just go anywhere. But if I feel so disrespected on behalf of Dak Prescott. He's been tremendous for this team, had big moments in the playoffs, carried them throughout the regular season, and they seem to give him less and less support the longer he's there. The way the defense has played in the last couple seasons has been terrible. And I think that Dak's career could be much greater than it is now if he goes to another situation where they have good weapons and a better defense. Denver comes to mind. Washington comes to mind as another place he can dominate that division from Washington rather than Dallas. So I think that Dak, it's up to Dak. If he wants to come back and they give him what he wants, then Dallas should absolutely jump on it. But I think that you're right. Bringing up Matthew Stafford, I think Dallas would consider doing something like that, and it may turn out to be what's best for both parties.
To be clear, it would be insane for the Cowboys to not tag him and thus let him walk away for free as a free agent. So the scenario we're talking about here would be if they franchise tag him and then trade him, which has happened 17 times before in the NFL with players, only once with a quarterback, and that was Matt Castle. Schefty.
Well, but hold on, Greeny. To do that, they need a certain level of cooperation from Dak Prescott.
Right.
He's
Of
got
course,
to
yes.
come in and sign that franchise tag knowing he's being traded somewhere. So if they had a deal worked out with somebody to a place that he didn't want to go, what would be his incentive to go sign that? So
No,
in
that's
a
the
sense,
point. This would have to be like voluntary on everybody's part. He would be involved in all of this, right? For this to happen, we've seen it happen before. 17 times players have been traded on the tag. 15 of those went on to sign long-term deals with the team they were traded to. So there's sort of it's like the sign and trade that they do in the NBA. I mean, this is all becoming kind of like NBA wheeling and dealing, Schefty.
This is really an unofficial no-trade tag that Dak Prescott has by getting the franchise tag. If indeed the Cowboys do put that tag on him again, that would be his unofficial no-trade clause. They could not just trade him without his consent.
D-Wood, what do you think?
Green, I think guys at a crossroads this year. I do. I think if I'm Dak, I'm looking at the situation. I'm thinking this roster needs some turnover. You know, all the guys that we've been talking about over the years when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they're all injured, they're getting older, and Dak looking at the coaching staff. You know, Mike McCarthy hiring his boy Mike Nolan, that was a disaster. Got rid of him. Do you have faith in the coaching staff? So if I'm Dak, I'm looking at my situation like, do I really want to waste my prime years with an organization that seems like it doesn't have it figured out right now? And like Schefter said, if they tag him, he doesn't have to sign the tag.
Right, but if they don't tag him, then they run the risk of losing him for nothing, which seems like it's the only thing in this that seems completely impossible is that they would allow that to happen. So this continues to be, look, Schefter described it earlier, it's a quarterback carousel, the likes of which we've literally never seen. Do not omit the name Dak Prescott from it. Meanwhile, let's get to the one game that's still